Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and in today's video, we're going to talk about my 2024 reading goals, as well as some of the books that I hope to get to this year. Oh, you're wondering why I'm able to have my phone in my hand while I'm recording? That is because your girl finally got a vlogging camera. My sweet boyfriend bought me a vlogging camera for my birthday back in November, and I know I'm just now figuring it out, but you know, patience, we finally made it. I'm so excited to play around with this thing and figure out this vlogging camera. So just be patient with me as I figure out all the ins and outs of this camera, because me and like camera technology, I don't know her, okay? I don't know a thing about it. So we're just happy that we figured out how to turn on the record button. And yeah, I'm just gonna be proud of myself for that one today. So yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope that the first few days of year 2024 has been great. You've had time to relax and get organized and prep your goals and maybe even finish a book or two by the time this video goes out. I don't know. I personally have not yet finished a book yet, but I plan on finishing one today, one of the audiobooks that I'm listening to. So I'll be there with you guys pretty soon. I'm super excited to come to you guys today and kind of discuss some of the goals that I have for my reading in 2024. I want to take goal setting a bit more seriously this year in 2024 than I probably ever have in my past years of life. Something in me this year has just been like goals. So I'm gonna listen to her and we're gonna plan these goals and we're gonna try our very best to stick with those goals that I've set for myself. And what better way to track my goals and to make sure that I'm on top of everything than with my reading journal. I am back on my bullet journal game, okay? A little context, I used to be the bullet journal girly back in undergrad for maybe like 2 or 3 years maybe, when I discovered it and I just fell in love with it. I journaled everything. I made sure I was up to date with my weekly, my monthly plans. I even led a workshop at the job that I had in college on bullet journaling because I was just so into it. But then after graduating college, when I was still on my pre-med track, I went to this program that took everything out of me, and I realized very quickly that your girl wasn't gonna have time to bullet journal and draw everything and create everything by myself. So I stopped bullet journaling probably in like 2019, 2020. And I don't know, again, something at the end of 2023 hit me and was like, bullet journal girl. But I was like, I don't have time to bullet journal. I have a full-time job and I barely even have time to read. What makes you think I'm gonna have time to journal? Then there's like, girl, just make a reading journal, duh. So that's what this is. I got this baby off of Amazon because this desire to bullet journal hit me a bit too late in the year for me to really get like a Archer and Olive or a Notebook Therapy or something very fancy in time for the new year. So I just went with my 2-day shipping here and got a $8 bullet journal, and so far it's doing me very well. Now I'm not going to do a whole flip through thing that I've loved watching from other creators over the past few weeks, but I will show you a couple pages, I guess, just on here. So we have, this is probably like backwards, but we're just gonna go with it, okay? So this is my cover page here that I have for 2024. This is my goals page, and we're gonna go through these in depth. This is my reading goals page. I have an anticipated releases page. I have my 24 and 2024 page that I'm really proud of, and that I also will go through in depth in a little bit in this video. And then this one is still blank because I haven't filled it out yet, but this is where I'm going to track the series that I'm in the middle of. And then this is where I'm going to put my monthly bookshelves. I saw this on Sid's channel for her journal. Instead of doing the whole like library page where you're drawing out the whole library on one page and drawing the books already beforehand, she just did it by month, and I was like, that's genius. So thanks, Sid. So I have the months here and I'll just draw the books as I go, so it'll be a little bit easier to track. So I have that, and then these are my monthly stats that I'm going to be keeping track of about the books I'm reading, in what format, that kind of thing. And then lastly, I have a video ideas page, and then this is a blank page that I'm going to be using for my physical TBR. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet, and it'll make more sense once I discuss my goals in a little bit. But yeah, that's gonna be what this page is for. And then yeah, that's all I have right now. But my vision for the rest of this is to use these next few spreads to visualize the books that I'm reading in 2024. So I'm sure you guys have seen it, but printing out the book covers and lining them up on the pages with the star rating, just so I'm able to visually see like what books I've read in 2024. So I'm really excited for this page, and that'll take a couple of pages. And then after that, it's gonna be the book specific pages where I'm writing reviews or taking notes, however I want to kind of track my reading. That's what that's gonna be for. So I'm super excited for that. Let me know in the comments down below if any of y'all are keeping a reading journal this year. I would love to kind of keep each other accountable. So that's the reading journal. Now let's hop right into these 2024 goals. All right, so my goal number 1 is the number of books that I want to read, of course. So for me, for 2024, I would love to read 60 books this year. In 2023, my reading goal was 50 books. Yes, I made it on like New Year's Eve, the last possible day, but I had to read 12 books in December in order for me to even reach 50 books. I mean, I actually ended up reading 51 books because I was reading 2 books simultaneously because I wasn't playing. I was like, if I finish one, both, we're gonna finish one of these because I need to hit 50. But honestly, my 2023 reading was a little bit not right. It didn't feel right for me. Like I really went through a lot of, I guess you could call them slumps of reading, but it wasn't really even a slump. It was just the fact that I had no time. And I did go through a little depresso era in my year trying to find a job and being unemployed for a few months. So that was really hard for me. And so I guess I didn't feel like reading books. I don't know. And then once I finally did get my job, it was like, girl, you have a job and now you're tired. So it was a lot going on. It's been a few months now, so I feel like I've got my routine down and I understand that I'm tired, but now I'm able to still do things even though I'm tired because I'm an adult, I'm a person, I have to do things. So it's like kind of just getting used to the reality that I'm living in. So all that to say, I feel like I can definitely hit 50 books this year and even add 10 more to it. I don't know, call me delusional, but we're gonna go with 60 and that's what we're gonna stand on. The second goal that I have for 2024 is to read the books that I own. This is a very popular goal for myself and for a bunch of other book lovers and book creators who are looking at the bookshelves and saying, dang, I ain't read half or more than half of these books that I look at every single day. And I am one of those people. I would love to focus on these books that I already own. I've paid my hard-earned money for these books, and yes, they're great to look at, but I actually do want to read them. So I do have a few things that I would like to implement in this year. We'll see how that goes. One of those things is to use a jar. Okay, and to write down the name of every single book on my TBR that I have not read yet and putting them in the jar. And then when I'm at a loss of what to read next, you know, because all these books look so enticing. So when I'm like, I don't know which book I should read, I'm gonna stick my hand in that jar and I'm gonna pick one, and that's the book I'm gonna read, because I am interested in pretty much all of the books that I own, which is nice. I mean, I do have a shelf over here filled with books that I'm not interested in anymore and that I want to donate, give away, whatever the case may be. So I'm not going to include those in my list because I want to make sure that they're books that I'm interested in. And so that's what I'm going to implement. I've already started kind of writing down the names of these books. I just haven't finished yet. And how I'm tracking this is all of the books that I've owned up until December 31st of 2023. Okay, I mean, I haven't bought any books yet this month in January, but I know I'm going to buy like an ebook pretty soon for a book I want to read in January. So I'm not going to count those books because those are new additions to my library, and I want to focus on the books that I've had from 2003 and further in the past, if that makes sense. That's how I'm kind of tracking this. So that's why in my journal I had that page where I was like, oh, that's gonna be for a physical TBR, because once I count all of those books, I'm gonna write that big old number, because I know it's gonna be big, on that page for starting number, and then have space for me to write how many of those books did I read, meaning how many books do I have left on my TBR come the end of this year, so I could really see how many books that I read that I had already owned from 2003 and prior. Okay, so stay with me. I know I took a lot of time with explaining goals 1 and 2. The rest shouldn't be as long-winded. My third goal is to get into high fantasy. We all know that I love fantasy, but I feel like I haven't really stepped my toe into high fantasy, you know, like I love a dark fantasy, I love a romance fantasy, I love high stakes fantasy, but I don't necessarily think I've really read a high fantasy book. And I have a few of them on my adult fantasy shelves, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm intimidated and they're so long and I'm like, will I understand them? It's gonna take me a long time to read and I got goals to achieve, you know, but I gotta get over that and just read them. Brandon Sanderson, like the Cosme series, that's considered high fantasy, right? I hope so, because I'm considering it, and I know that I'm going to be reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson this year because I'm a patron of Steph at Stephanie Bookish, and she's doing a whole read along of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere books starting this month, and we're starting with Elantris. So I will be achieving that goal and I'm excited. But in addition to Brandon Sanderson, I want to be able to add some more authors of high fantasy. So also in the comments, please let me know who are your favorite authors that write high fantasy. Goal number 4 is to read more books from indie authors. I recently subscribed to Kindle Unlimited. There's a lot of indie authors on Kindle Unlimited. Like, of course, that's where a lot of them publish their books. And so there's easy access to indie authors there. So I did read a couple of indie authors through Kindle Unlimited last year, and I've been really enjoying them. And so I also, you know, in addition to traditional publishing authors, I want to be able to support our indie authors. In the comments below, let me know some of your favorite indie authors so I can check them out as well. My goal number 5 is to read outside the house. Okay, I'm really excited for this goal because I love coffee, as we all know, and I would love to go and find new coffee shops in my neighborhood and just sit there and read books. Like, I used to do that, of course, but back when I was in school, so it was like going to a coffee shop and studying for a few hours, and I loved doing that as well. It made the studying less sad because I was surrounded by coffee and people and good vibes. So I want to be able to implement that with my reading and find different coffee shops or restaurants or parks or libraries or just like something out of the house, because I am an introvert and I love being at home, but I feel like since my job is also inside, I'm inside from 9 to 5 days a week, I really am not outside, and I want to be able to increase that exposure to being outside a lot more and being able to experience and discover new places. I'm really excited for that goal. Goal number 6 is to finish series. I'm pretty sure this was one of my goals last year, and I'm not too sure how I did with that because I didn't track it, which is why I have a series trackers page in my journal so that I'm able to better track that goal. I have started so many series. I believe the last video on my channel was series I need to reread or series I need to finish or something like that. And so it's like on my brain that I want to finish these series because there's a lot of series that I've started and haven't finished, and it's been a while since I started the series, so I remember like nothing. So I need to reread the first or, you know, few books in there so I'm able to continue on with the series. So why not make that a goal and track that thing so that I'm able to finish series and not feel so bad when I start a new one. Which leads me to my goal number 7, which is to reread. I have unlocked rereading for me in this past year as well, and I'm having a really fun time rereading. It allows me to experience some of my favorites and, you know, be like, oh, I still love this, or not so much. I'm able to revisit the characters, the world, and my memory isn't the best, so it's not like I'm rereading a book and I'm like, I remember every single thing that happened in this book. So it's kind of like a new experience of reading the book anyway, and I really enjoyed that. So I want to do more of that in 2024. Goal number 8 is to do better with new releases, but also read a lot of backlist books. So this is a very backwards goal because it's like focusing on new releases, but also focusing on backlist. But of course I know what I'm trying to say. Books are released on a weekly basis, okay, on Tuesdays mainly. And so there's so many new books that are released into this world in a year, and there's so many of those new releases that I'm excited about and would like to read, and some of them I even pre-order or purchase pretty soon to their release date, and they're in my possession, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to read this, can't wait to get to it, and then it's like the next year and I never read that book. So that's what I mean by do better with new releases. Like if I'm gonna say I'm excited about a new release and I buy it, I should read it right away, you know, because then what happens is that people are reading all these new releases and they're forming their opinions, right? And of course, a lot of books, most books have mixed opinions on them. And then I start hearing all these opinions and then that kind of like makes me not want to read the book anymore. Cause I'm like, some people love it, some people hate it, but I just have to read the book and figure out my own opinion myself. Wow. Groundbreaking, I know, but that's just something I need to do because there's so many new releases that are gonna be on my 24 and 2024 list that I'm about to walk through quickly with you guys, and they're all released. A lot of them were released back in 2023 or 2022 and I still haven't gotten to them. So I'm like, let's get it going and do better with that. And then I also want to do better with backlist books because they, for the most part, they've been sitting on my shelves for like so long and I just leave them to the side because I'm trying to read newer books. But then it's like I also want to go back and experience different authors, like debut novels or earlier novels or different works that were popular back when they were released, and I just missed out on that hype train. So I'm kind of trying to go back and read those as well. So it's all about a balance, and that's kind of just why I'm just rambling about it, because it's just something I'm trying to do better with. My last goal number 9, is to be more consistent on social media. This one is last because it is one that I really, really, truly want to focus on this year, to the point where my word for 2024 is consistency, because not even with my social media, but a lot of other things in my personal life, different habits and routines I want to do, I want to be more consistent with them. So I feel like this is a perfect word to describe how I want to be in 2024, just more consistent. So that is going to also roll over to my content that I'm creating, because this brings me so much joy, and I always forget about the happiness that filming a video brings me until I'm like actually filming and I get that high. Like, this is so fun. I'm drinking my coffee, I'm talking about these books and thinking about the fact that it's going to be published to different people to watch, you know? And so I just want to be more consistent and not kind of like lean on the fact that I'm too busy, that I'm too tired, all the other excuses that I tell myself, and just create a schedule and stick to it. And the schedule that I want to do is like one time a week. And that's just not on YouTube. I also have an Instagram, a Bookstagram account that I've been using. And so either on Instagram or YouTube, at least once a week, I want to post something. And that's not just stories, like something on my feed, a picture, a reel, or a YouTube video. I might even venture into book talk this year. Y'all don't know, but I'm like so against TikTok for like no reason really. I just am like, no, I'm not gonna get another social media. I don't want to be distracted. I already doom scroll enough on Instagram, and so I'm like, do I really want to add another social media account? But book talk obviously is super popular and a lot of people use it and love it, and I kind of just want to maybe try my hand at it. We'll see. So those are my goals for 2024. I'm super excited for this year to kind of pan out, and I can't wait for all of the 5-star hopefully reads and favorites that I'm going to be finding this year with my reading, and all of the connections that I'm going to make with you guys, of course, this year. So now I just wanted to quickly mention my 24 and 2024. So the 24 books that I hope to read this year. Not gonna go in depth because this video is already long enough. I've talked long enough, but I just wanted to pop a picture of all the books that I want to read. My main focus, right? 24 of these books I hope to read, which is basically almost half of my reading goal right here. So let's do this. And all 24 of these books are books that I already own. So it's like I can already get 24 of my physical TBR down based on this list if I stick to it. So the 24 books that I want to read in 2024 are Beasts of Prey by Ayana Gray, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, Hurricane Wars by Thea Guazon, Kaiki by Vaishnavi Patel, Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas, Blood Like Fate by Liesl Samberry, The Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashim, Powerless by Lauren Roberts, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, The Battle Drum by Sarah El Arifi, The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, Forged by Blood by Igbor Okosun, Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. And I realized that I said I own all 24 of these books already, but 2 of them are 2024 new releases, so I don't have those yet, but I definitely will be buying them. I've already pre-ordered those 2, and that's House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas and This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, which are like my top 2 most anticipated books for this year. So those are the 24 books that I really want to read in 2024. They're like my priority TBR, and some of them are sequels or start of series or just new releases, backlist books that I haven't read in just forever. So it's a good variety of books in there, and I'm excited for each and every one of those. I'm just overall, again, very excited for this new year. I'm excited for all that's to come. So let's do this, and let's do this together, y'all. So that's all from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video and you don't have anything to comment, you can comment below some celebratory emojis because we're in a new year and that's what we're celebrating. But if you like this video, please give it a big like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!